everybody, welcome. Totally forgot to check which microphone I'm using. Hey, there we go. Alright, that's the right microphone. Oh, welcome. Anybody out there? Can you hear me? Alright, the stream officially starts in 4 minutes and counting. Welcome. Welcome to a new day. It's funny, I can hear myself just barely, where I have my stream pulled up and monitoring it, and it's distracting. You're welcome. If you're here, hit that like button. I'm just rubbing some lotion into my hands because I realized they were quite dry. Also, I figure if I go live now, that gives people 5 minutes to find the stream and join. That way they don't have to join late. But if people were waiting for, you know, the 1 o'clock hour Pacific time, then they can join then. Because I won't start playing until then. Until then, I'm just, you know, sitting here watching the stream to make sure everything is working and admiring my new title page image and just talking to myself. Killing time. Guess I should get my cards ready because that is something I need to do. I'm having a good time. Alright, we got one to you. Look up. Move the mouse. I'll move which ones were up. I'm gonna say the ones that are facing up are the ones that we already turned, and the ones that are facing down are the ones we have not. Greetings, fellow human. Welcome to the stream. Let me know if audio is good and if you can hear me okay. We will be starting gameplay in approximately 2 minutes or less. And don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you enjoy the content. And you can say hi in chat if you so choose. Or you can just leave and not say anything. That's fine. I am not a warlord. I do not... I mean, I do demand respect. I never... Okay, that's fine. I drew a map, but I didn't actually ink it in, so it's in pencil, so you guys probably won't be able to see it, but I'll be able to see it. And that's what really matters. I'm in the middle of everything. Is it, no, it's not time yet. Is it time yet? No. Calm your jets. So yes, welcome. I am playing Be Like a Crow in my solo RPG adventures. If you have any other games you'd like to see me try in the future, let me know. Yeah, it looks like it's just about time. So let's see if I can transition to the desktop. Hello and welcome again. Alright, everything looks good. I think so. wait for you guys to catch up, make sure the transition works well. There we go. Okay, cool. This is Be Like a Crow, a solo RPG game written and created by Tim Roberts. You can't see it. There it is. Tim Roberts, yay! Okay. So, in the last episode, let me get my mouse out of the way. I've got very limited space to work with here, and I tried to zoom in so you don't see all the extraneous clutter on my desk. It's a small desk. It's a small desk after all. It's a small desk after all. Okay. Well, hopefully people will find us. Me, you, me mainly. They won't find you. You're on the other side of the camera. I'm on this side. All right. So we are following. In Be Like a Crow, you don't have to be a crow. You can be any corvid. So we are Giselle, a raven, a fledgling raven, and she set out on adventure. At the beginning of the last stream, or I guess prior to the last stream, where we left off, is she had met an elder raven named Draven, who told her that there's a necromancer that has captured a dwarven merchant and intends to sacrifice him at the next full moon, which was 13 days away. It is now 12 days away. I must travel to a school for wizards in the city of Asmodor. To defeat the wizard, I must perform a dance ritual while holding a mead of poetry. So, she thanks him for the information and starts heading that way. Along the way, she gets hungry, I get hungry, and I land for some food. I find some wild blackberries, which are my favorite snack. And after having my fill there, I get chased off by a gang of gray squirrels. But I evade them and get away successfully. I evade running into a unkindness of other ravens, and a group of ravens that are performing a ritual in the distance, and I head the other way because I don't have time for that nonsense. Then I ran into a friendly rook, whose name I didn't get, but he told me that there was this strange object called a shard of gull that needed to be located and destroyed. Said last you heard it was in a castle to the southwest, and if I find it, I need to throw it in the river to destroy it. He said the shard is some sort of crystal or obsidian rock. As the day progressed, I decided to land for dinner, and while resting, I ran into a friendly young dragon who called himself Ivor, and we chatted for a while, and I told him of my quest, and he informed me that he knew where I could find a mead of poetry at a particular tavern in the city called the Shawn Sheep, located in the south end of town, and I told him that would greatly aid my search. So after he wandered off, I was approached by a lonely, sad court jester who just started attacking me because he thought ravens made him sad. And I fled from him, got scratched by a thorny bush that I flew through during my escape. Before long, the weather turned bad, and a violent rainstorm caused me to seek shelter. I found a lone statue on the outskirts of the city, and it had a hollow base which I was able to spend the night in comfortably, and I took this time to treat my wounds, the scratches I received from the bush. And that is where we left off. Having spent the night in the base of the statue, I need to get going. I'm just outside of the city of Asmodor. So that is where we pick up. I have a notepad here to take notes while I go, and then I will write it out long form after the session is over. I have water to keep me hydrated. You don't need to see my lotion in case my hands get dry. So I do have a joker still that lets me successfully succeed on any skill check automatically, or I can use it to treat 2 wounds. Currently, we have no wounds, but we are on our way. So our first objective is to find a mead of poetry, and then the school for wizards where we can perform the ritual to free our dwarf merchant. And then after that, we should probably head for the castle to find this shard that needs to be disposed of. But one task at a time. So, sorry, I was regathering my thoughts. So, we wake up in the morning, it's nice and sunny, the rainstorm has passed, and now we need to head off. So, first thing we do in the morning, we need to make a successful fly check to make sure we can get off the ground and up in the air without any complications. So, the first card we draw is going to be our difficulty rating. Ooh, we got a 9. All right, we have a +1 to fly, but I just remembered, I think as a fledgling, we have disadvantage on fly checks, but let me double check. I don't have all the rules, memorized. So, don't see anything there. Is there something somewhere else? Maybe I was imagining it. Let me look in my setting. We are playing in a fantasy setting. Okay, it just says, okay, as a fledgling in the fantasy setting, you are still new to this, and until you complete your first objective, you must make a fly check each time you take off and land. Failing this check results in 1 injury. Alright, so we did actually complete our first objective already, but I'm going to go ahead and say we still need to make a fly check to take off, because that seems fair. So our difficulty is 9. We have a +1 to fly, so we need an 8 or better. We got a 9. So we successfully took off, no problem there. So we're just outside the, we're just on the outskirts of the city. And we need to figure out, I guess, first, if we're going to, fly over the walls. So this Asmodor is a walled city on a river running through the middle of it. So I don't know if you can see, this is my crudely hand-drawn map. This is the city we're at. It's a walled city. There's a river running through it. And like I said, I did draw a map, but I forgot to ink it in, so it's in pencil so far. So I'll try and hold it up, see if you can see it a little bit. Not really. I basically made a basic overview. I marked the city walls, the river, the bridges, and then some of the locations within the city that are maybe landmarks, like parks, the school, a church, a graveyard, because we're going to face a necromancer, and then locations of possible inns, taverns, shops, that sort of thing. So I guess while we're up and flying, let's go ahead and get a an event in flight. So we take off successfully for the city. And the first thing we run into, 10 of hearts. You come across a jackdaw who has an object that they are will give it to you in return for an object you currently have. Okay, what object do they have? Let's find out. So we go to our fantasy objects and we get 3 of spades, which is a rogue's toolkit. Oh, that might be interesting. Can be used to make claw attacks and use tool checks with authority. Ooh. So he has a rogue's toolkit. We have on us a ring of guys. Which allows us to turn invisible and at will and succeed on an evade check. We have a leaf of Yggdrasil, which means that when we successfully leave a square, we can fly for 2 squares. I kind of want to keep that, but the ring we could probably get rid of. We've already used one of its uses, and it only has 2, so it only has 1 use left. And we're pretty good at evading already. We actually have authority in evade checks. And we have 1 tick in that skill. So I say yes, let's go ahead. I did not grab an eraser. Why did I not grab an eraser? I don't know. Oh, there's my eraser. Hiding in my cup. Alright, so we're going to give him the ring of geese, or guys, whatever I call it. We're going to give him that in exchange for a rogue's toolkit. Ooh, a rogue's toolkit. And this will give us claw and attacks. We haven't encountered any combat yet. And use tool with advantage. With authority, which means advantage. Okay. Make a little asterisk there to remind me of those. Awesome. Okay, that's cool. Should I give a name to the jackdaw who gave us this? Maybe his name's just Jack. All right, so that's pretty good. Ah, I was like, where did it go? All right. A jackdaw named Jack gave us a rogue's toolkit. Why, thank you, Jack. That was very kind of you. I hope you enjoy that magic ring. All right, so now we need to fly. So we've approached the city and we're going to fly over the city wall. So let's do a fly check to make sure we can succeed. And we're coming at it from the south. So, ooh, we got a jack, and we have a +1 to fly. Ooh, okay, so we ran into some trouble flying over the wall. Hello, Molded, welcome. So our fly is +1, and that only gave us 6, and our difficulty was 11. Okay, so maybe, what kind of complication could we run into flying over the city wall? Maybe there were archers and they were doing target practice. Well, we can fly straight. It's just, something got in our way. So there were archers on the wall and they decided it was time for target practice. So they decided to shoot at us. Archers on city walls, they get bored sometimes. And they, yeah, decided to shoot at us for target practice. Ooh. So 1d4, how many wounds do we take? 4. Ooh. We only have six health, but we just took 4 points. Okay. We're gonna go for it. Oof, that hurt. That hurt a lot. So, what is gonna happen now? So that happened. Gosh darn it. Okay. So we're in flight. We need to draw a second event in flight, although that technically could be our second event, and we'll say it is. So if you can hit the like button, that will help get the stream out to other viewers. That would be appreciated, and welcome everybody. All right, so we need to land. So let's go ahead and land. And we're gonna land just inside the wall. Kind of a hurtling crash, but we're not gonna take any more damage, because maybe 2 points from the archers and 1 point from landing. We do have a joker. We could automatically succeed, but I think it's more interesting if something goes wrong once in a while. We've been doing pretty lucky. So I have my city map here, and all right, we're gonna land, and we're gonna do a search check. I think, let's see. Yeah, let's do a search check to find a place to find shelter. So I just was looking at it. Hello. Search. We have 1 in search, so our difficulty for searching is going to be 3. Okay. As long as we get a 2 or higher, we should succeed. We got a 6, so that's a 7. We succeed in finding a place to land and rest for a second. And so I am going to go ahead and while we're land and rest, my nose is running. Apologies. I'm going to go ahead and use the Joker to heal 2 of those wounds. So we're going to treat ourselves and heal 2 of the 4 wounds. With that Joker. Good thing I didn't spend it. Alright. So now we're down on the land. Let's see what event we get. While we're down here, the 8 of Hearts. I find an object that is broken. Okay. Can use this tool check to see if you can fix it. If you fail, it can't be used until you find someone who can fix it. You can choose to discard. You can choose to discard or keep it. Okay, so let's see what object we're going to find. A 4 of Hearts. Our fantasy objects. Okay. A gold piece. But it's broken. So a broken coin. All right. We find a broken coin. Interesting. Okay. Because it says a gold piece. Present this coin to any creature and it will allow the giver to perform a defend check on them with authority. So, I mean, we're in a city. Finding gold in a city is actually kind of makes sense. Why a coin would be broken. Maybe it's just dented or bent. So we need to do a use tool. I'm getting so sidetracked. You find an object. Okay, use tool check to see if you can fix it. All right, so our use tool, because we got the rogue's toolkit, might find the other piece in a fountain. I did mark some parks, but we're gonna say it's bent. You know, somebody was having a bad day and they bent their gold coin. So we have the rogue's toolkit, which gives us authority or advantage on use tools because, I have one mark in use tool already. Okay, so we're going to try and fix it, and our difficulty is a 7. But we have authority, so we're going to draw 2. Oh, look at that. We got 2 8s. So we automatically succeed. We successfully unbent, straightened this coin. But it's a bent coin. And we straightened it. We fixed it. But we were already carrying 2 items. So what I can do is I can mark where I think the item is on our map and come back for it later if we need it. Or we could drop something and come back and pick it up later, because maybe the gold coin, we're going to a tavern, so the gold coin would probably be more useful. So we don't want to get rid of the tool. Let's leave our leaf here. Our leaf of Yagracy. All right, so I'm going to mark this on the map, put it right there. And then I'm going to make a note. This is our leaf token, whatever we're going to call it. And then we're going to pick up the gold. So we're taking the gold with us. Take the gold. All right, so we found some gold. Awesome. So now let's do a search check to see if we can figure out, would it be search or navigate? Thinking navigate, figure out where we are in the city and maybe where the tavern is. Let's see. Which would be more relevant? Where are the list of what the skills mean? Here we go. All right, so search is to use to find objects, characters, and food, and navigate is your way to find without. Okay, so let's do a navigate check to see if we're in the right part of town, and maybe we can find this Sean Sheep Tavern. All right, so navigate, I have 2 in navigate, so our difficulty is going to be, ooh, a queen. So that's a 12, so we need a 10 or better. We do not have authority. All right, so how do we do on finding the tavern? 9, 10, 11. We are 1 short. So we find a tavern. And the tavern is going to be called the Twisted Salad. Maybe it's not a tavern. Maybe it's a produce market called the Twisted Salad Produce Market. All right, so we found this produce market called the Twisted Salad. And we want to let's see if we can find another bird nearby or some animal that we can interact with, because I don't think we're going to be able to talk to the people unless I thought you'd like that molded. It's named after you. Um, let's see. Characters. Let's just see if we can find a bird nearby. So would we want to do a signal maybe? Social interaction signal allows you to call on others for assistance. So yeah, let's do a signal check. See if we can find any birds in the area who can point us in the right direction to the tavern we want. So we're going to call for help. And what is our skill in signal? We have a +1 in signal. All right, so our difficulty is going to be a 4. And we got a 3 + 1, which is a 4, which meets it. So that succeeds. And who shows up? I'm just going to randomly flip to the birds. We're going to say a jackdaw shows up. Maybe it's Jack, the jackdaw we ran into earlier. Say, hey, Jack shows up. He's familiar with the city. He was just out exploring. And we're already friends with him. We're friendly. We ask him where if he knows where this tavern is. So we're gonna do a yes or no. Even is yes, odd is no. He doesn't know where the tavern is. Okay. Well, that doesn't help. We could just try finding somebody else. All right, let's see who else we can find around that might be worth asking about this. A town guard. Okay. Let's approach a town guard. Even though the archer shot at us, maybe a town guard will help. A poor lost raven. Yeah, so we're gonna approach a town guard. And we're gonna try and befriend him. So befriend, we have a +1 to befriend. I thought we had something that gave us advantage on befriending people, but I can't think what it would be. Oh, wait, the coin. We can give him the coin. Because I believe the coin. Present this coin to a creature will allow the giver to perform a befriend check on them with authority. Okay, so do we give this coin to the town guard to see if he can help us find the tavern? Or do we hold on to it and save it for maybe the tavern keeper? Because I feel like a tavern keeper would probably want payment. Okay, we're just gonna try and befriend the guard. Just straight up. So I said we have a +1 in befriend. Okay, we got a 1. So anything we draw is going to be a success. We got a jack. Okay, so maybe this town guard has speak with animals. You know, some sort of spell. You know, maybe he's a druid. And we can communicate with him and ask him where this tavern is. I'm assuming a town's guard would know where a tavern is. So let's give the town's guard a name, because maybe he can help us out in the future. Since we successfully befriended him so well. What is the town's guard name? I want you guys to come up with a name. What is his name? The town's guard in Asmodor. Maybe a druid who speaks with animals. You know, maybe he's a nice town's guard. He likes animals. Douglas? All right, Douglas the town's guard. And not only does Douglas say he knows where this tavern is, but he decides to take us there. So we perch on his shoulder and he takes us there. Because, you know, a city is a really big place, a tough place for a little fledgling raven. So I'm going to mark on my map. I had a place for the tavern. I will draw this in ink later. But this is our tavern, and then right down the street from the tavern, we weren't very far away. This is our market. That twisted salad market. So we found our tavern. All right, and Douglas takes us into the tavern, or takes us to the tavern. I guess he could take us in, you know, so we're perched on his shoulder, and he takes us into the tavern. And he's going to be our translator, because not everybody in town knows how to speak with animals. So yeah, he's our translator. And so we go, he takes us into the tavern, and we go up to the barkeep. Whose name is Sean. Because it's the Sean sheep. So it's his I cannot. Wow, my hands are like writing all kinds of things I don't mean to just write. The barkeep's name is Sean. And Douglas explains what we need from Sean. We need this mead of poetry. So, and we're going to give him the coin. So let's do a befriend check on Sean. And our difficulty is a 10, but because we're giving him the coin, we can do the befriend check with authority, so with advantage. So we're going to take 2 cards, and we got, ooh, a 5 and a 2. And our goal was 10. We only have 1, so that gets us a 6. Sean doesn't like us very much. He's like, no, I don't know. Okay, so we gave him the gold coin, and he's like, I don't know, giving some mead to a bird, that sounds really sketch. It's like, okay. So what can we do? He won't give us the mead. Do we ask Douglas if he will help us acquire the mead? We're not to drink it, we're to carry it. We have to hold it. So let's ask Douglas if he'll help acquire the mead. So again, evens are yes, odds are no. And that rolled way over there. It was a 1. No, Douglas isn't going to help. Maybe Douglas will help if we find the necromancer first. He's like, I don't know. You say there's some necromancer going to sacrifice a dwarf merchant, but I have no proof of this. So we're gonna need proof before he'll help. Okay. So in that case, We don't have any more money. We had the 1 gold, which we gave to the barkeep. So, okay, here's a question. Since the barkeep doesn't trust us and we gave him the gold, would he give the gold back to Douglas? A 6, yes. So he gave the gold to Douglas. He's like, I don't know. I can't take gold from a raven. Doug, you are a wee bit crazy. Keep the gold. Um, just call him Doug. So the barkeep gives the gold back to Doug. Okay, so Douglas wants us to have proof that there is this necromancer sacrificing a dwarf merchant. So we need to find the school of wizardry. Which according to my map that I drew is across town on the other side of the river. So do we ask Douglas to come along and accompany us to the school, or do we head off on our own? That's a good question. I mean, his town's guard, he's probably busy, but he's like, if you find it, you come back, you have proof that there is some nefarious stuff going on, then we'll I'll accompany you. I'm just kind of looking over the objects because I happen to have it in front of me, and I'm seeing if there's anything that do we have a built-in satin Rav to help us find things? No, unfortunately not. Let's see. Okay. So he says if we can bring back something, what would a dwarf merchant have on him? Because I'm not seeing, I saw one thing on here, but what would a dwarf merchant have on him that we could bring back as proof? Something a raven could carry. So it had to be something small. A signet ring, maybe? Yeah, let's say this dwarf merchant has a signet ring we need to bring back. So we need, although we don't know who the dwarf merchant is, but if he has a signet ring, we can bring it to him. A jewel, yeah. So a signet ring of the dwarf, because all dwarf merchants have their like their merchant seal signet seal that they so we got to bring that back. And that will tell the guard who the dwarf merchant is, and then he can find out like did we steal it from him? Like he can go check on this dwarf merchant. So it's a form of identification. Okay. We're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So this dwarf merchant, each dwarf merchant has their own signet ring, so we need to bring that back. So he knows something's going on. So Yeah, it's a dwarf merchant union thing. Exactly. Like you gotta have, whenever you're doing business with a dwarf merchant, he has his signet ring he uses is like his wax seal. So that shipment, that order that came from that dwarf. And anybody who tries to forge it is. All right. So that's what we need to do. Now we need to figure out where the school is because Giselle doesn't know where this school is. Um, Dragon the player does. So I have a map. I didn't divide it into sections, but I'm going to do that really quick. How many sections? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's not quite what I wanted, but it'll do. So we're going to roll a d20 and see where we decide to go. 18 is not one of the options. All right. So we know we're on the south. So if we'll do a d4. If we go north is 1, west is 2, 3 is east, and 4 we stay in the same area. It's a 2, so we go to the west. I know what I'm talking about, honest. Okay, so we're gonna head west in the city. Too many writing utensils. Okay, so we're gonna head west. I'm making up all this navigating around the city on my own. I'm like, there's no rules for this, so I am making it up. And while we're on land, let's go ahead and while we're traveling to the west, how far do we get? 3 squares. Okay. We're here. You can't really see it. 1, 2, 3. We're going to be over here. An X next to that one. All right. So let's run into an encounter. Okay. What do we get? We meet a potential mate along the way. If you're looking for love, you can make a mate check. I'm not really looking for love. Hello, PR2. 2. I still don't know what to call you. Welcome. We are in the city. We approached a town's guard and named Douglas and asked him to help us. He took us to the tavern of the Sean Sheep, and Sean the barkeep wouldn't give us the mead of poetry we need for our quest. But Douglas says if we can bring him a signet ring of the dwarf merchant, that as proof that he's being held against his will by this necromancer and sacrificed, then he'll help us. So right now we're trying to figure out where the School of Wizardry is in Asmodor, and we just headed west. So what kind of... So there is a prominent business of some sort. Professor Tutu? So there's a business in this section of town, according to my map. What kind of business is it? I will let you guys decide while I hydrate. And remind you while you're here to hit the like button if you haven't done that already so that more people have a chance to see the stream. And I was, okay. All right. So we found another raven. But we're not really looking for love. But maybe this raven, a blacksmith? Okay. This raven lives at a blacksmith. Guys, okay. All right. Okay. We find another raven. At a blacksmith. This is the blacksmith's raven. So what is this? And it's next to a bakery. Sorry, Molded, it's too late. I already read blacksmith, but the blacksmith is next to a bakery. So the blacksmith has a raven companion. What is this raven's name? And then but they're real bad. The baker doesn't know it. All right. And I guess we could do a mate check. Not that we want to mate. But we could do a mate check and see if they will accompany us. We have no skill in mating. Oh, the only bakery for miles. They have to buy things from it even if they don't want it. Is a monopoly of the grain. Well, I mean, it's quite a large city. All right, so what was it gonna? I'm gonna draw a mate check. So our difficulty is going to be a 4. Oh boy. Do we succeed on our mate check? A 9. Yeah, they like us. They think we're really good. Um, they like us, but who is this? Who is this raven? And because of the, I mean, we are a bit young, but they think we're really cool because we're out adventuring. And because of the delay, I'm gonna call this raven Bloom. From Molded's comment, Bloom and delay. So this raven, Bloom, thinks we're really neat and wants to be our friend. They're like, whoa, 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 you're going on an adventure? Oh my gosh, can I come with you? Can I come with you? We're gonna have so much fun. So sure, Bloom, I guess. But so, would a rave? Probably not. But maybe the blacksmith. Okay, so maybe the blacksmith knows where the school is. Should we befriend the blacksmith? Okay, or let's ask our oracle die here. Does the blacksmith know where the school of wizardry is? I mean, maybe he does, because maybe he makes stuff for them, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe because they're in a total different part of town. 2, which is a yes. Like Dory. Sorry. Okay, so the blacksmith does know where the School of Wizardry is. Okay. So he can give us directions. But then we're going to have to navigate to see if we can find our way there. All right. So Bloom is coming with us for a little while. And we'll give Bloom 4 HP, 4 health. Which reminds me, we are still wounded by 2. Okay, so this is a blacksmith. and a bakery right across the street. Do we want to name the bakery? Name the name of the blacksmith? Or is it just called Blacksmith? These are the options we have. It's up to you. You help write the story. And maybe while we're here, Bloom will... Should we ask? Have lunch with Bloom at the bakery? And heal up our 2 damage points. We could. Let's ask the Oracle. So do we heal up with treats from the bakery? A 6. Yes. So Bloom's gonna offer us some baked goods, maybe some bear claw, and we're gonna heal up before setting off. All right. The blacksmith and the bakery do not have names. If you want to give them names, you can. If anybody watching this later, you can leave it in the comments. And I will go back and retroactively name this bakery. Okay, so now we know where we're going. Nom 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 nom. And we're healed up. Heal with bakery treats. Okay, so now we know where we need to go. We need to go to the northeast of the city. So we're gonna make our navigation check, right? Because that was to search is to find something, but now we need to navigate. Okay. You've already got some names. I mean, well, you're a very active participant in the game. You can, name things if you want to. All right, so a navigation check difficulty is going to be a 7. We have a +2 to navigation, so if we get a 5, ooh, okay, we get a 2. +2, that gets us 4. So how far do we get before we get lost? We get 1 square to the northeast, which sets us on the edge of the city over the river, and we land in a park there. So there's a park here. And what do we find when we land in the park? King of Diamonds. I can create my own adventure. Draw again from this table. Or I guess technically we would be in the air. So... Well, in that case, a flock of swallows offers to guide you to your location of your choice. If you accept, you need only take 1 turn per every 2 hexes traveled until you arrive at your destination. So we make it to this park and we're flying over. We're lost. We're circling this park going, what? Bloom, where do we go? And Bloom's like, I don't know, never been this way. Maybe we should ask those swallows. Okay, so we go into the we come up, fly up to the swallows. Hey guys, we're looking for this school of wizardry. Do you know where it is? And they're like, oh yeah, follow us. So we follow them. And the next event, we take one for Hex. So, all right, we're in flight, and our next event is an. Wow, we're getting all the help. I am not planning this. This says now an eagle offers you a lift on their tail feathers. You can grab them in your beak and travel 2 hexes before you need to make your next turn. I mean, we're trying to navigate the city and we're lost, but apparently a lot of locals are like, hey, yeah, we'll help you get where you're going. So the swallows, come along and have no problem with the eagle that we run into. So maybe he doesn't let us ride along because we have Bloom too. But he helps lead the way. All right. So we got lost over the park. And then a bunch of swallows helped us find a way. I realized I wasn't writing anything down. And then an eagle joined us. Okay, so how many swallows in this flock? We're gonna roll it. We'll roll a d20. That might be a lot of swallows. Oh, do you see that? That's a 16. It was a 16. 16 swallows. It's a big flock. Okay. So now we have a flock of 16 swallows, an eagle, myself, and Bloom are flying up to the School of Wizardry, which is in the opposite corner of the map here. All right, so that depleted the deck. So if anybody out there wants to give a name to the School of Wizardry while I shuffle the cards, you're more than welcome. And Molded, you're welcome to do so as well. We are building an army. We are building an army. Also, do we want to name the necromancer? So I need a name for the School of Wizardry, a name for the dwarf maybe, and a name for, what did I say, the necromancer. That's lots of names out there. Don't know how many people are actually watching right now, but Molded, you might be the only one, you and me. So if you don't come up with something, I'm going to have to. I could pull up some things. I do have some things, but I don't have them ready. The necromancer is named Tim. Okay. Tim. I am the all I'm the all-powerful Tim. The Holy Grail reference. I haven't seen the Holy Grail in a long time. That should be well shuffled. So the necromancer is named Tim. Tim! I'm running out of room. Next page. Famous the first. Which way are we going? We are going this way. Okay. Are we going right? That's funny, on my next page it said Tim. For something else. Okay, we are going this way. There's writing on the back of that page, so we'll go over here. All right, so the necromancer's name is Tim. Okay. Let me step aside and find some references. Ooh. Pull out some good old Dungeons and Dragons. No, it's fine. Alright. Your mind is blank. That's okay. The School of Wizardry is called... I opened to a really bad page. Shadowfell Academy. Because we gotta name everything. The school is the Shadowfell Academy. That doesn't bode very well. And I put it on the map next to a very large cathedral, on the other side of which is a cemetery, because a necromancer needs a cemetery. Maybe this is a school for necromantic wizardry. And our dwarf friend, where are dwarves? Dwarf, 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 dwarf. Okay, hold on. I'm coming up with something. Okay. Torrid Tim. Our dwarf is Ashtar. Stonekeep. All right. Back to the adventure. So there's 19 birds, all flying up to the school. I imagine, it's probably got a couple tall towers and some nice steepled roofs, so we all kind of land on the roof. And I'm going to do a search check to see if I can find where our necromancer is. So a 6. And in search, I think I have a +1. Search, search, search. I have +1 in search. So we get a 5 or better. We got an 8. Awesome. He's in the tall tower. to the north or the south? Or I guess the east or the west? You can pick one, or I can let the oracle die decide. I have all my lovely dice here, nice and easy to read. Tower of Timnus. Yes. Okay. So he's got the tall of forgot to write tower to the north. Okay. All right. So I find the window, and I spy in the window to see Tim. What skills do we have? So we don't want to face the necromancer right now because we have to get our mead of poetry in order to defeat him, because apparently Tim hates poetry. So let's see. Let's be roguelike. We're gonna tell everybody, all the other birds, all our army of birds, to like chill out on the roof. And we're gonna try and open a window and sneak in there to get the signet ring off our dwarf. So we need to do a use tool to open up the window. And because we have the rogue's toolkit, we can do use tool with authority, so advantage. So our difficulty is going to be a jack, so 11. All right, we have +1 to use tool with authority. We're going to draw 2. We got a 5 and a 6, so that only gives us a 7. So we're not able to open the window to get in there. Okay. So, gonna go to our next page. Running out of room for those notes. All right. So what can we do? What can we do? I guess maybe we should determine if the necromancer is in there. Okay, oracle guy, evens are yes, odds are no. Is the necromancer in the tower? No, he's not. All right. Are there any creatures inside the room? No. All right. I'm thinking maybe there's a rat nearby. So I'm realizing the ribbon I put in here left grease marks on my book. So let's find something else for bookmark, like a bookmark. There we go. I'm going to close that for a moment because we're not doing anything out of there at the moment. We're kind of going off book, as they say. All right. He just popped out for a new corpse. Got it. What time of day is it? It's 6:40 in the afternoon. Sure. All right. So yeah, maybe he's having dinner, preparing for things. So I'm thinking maybe there is a rat in the building somewhere who can come and open the door. So let's do a signal. See if we can find a rat to call on to help us out. So, ooh, okay. It's a king. So that's a 13. That's the highest possible difficulty. But we have a +1. So if we get a 12, if we get a queen, a 12, maybe we'll find a rat to help us. Otherwise, we have to come up with some other thing. Okay. So I'm going to call out for a rat or some other creature for help inside the building. All right. Now, okay, so +1. We got a 1. So in this game, aces are low. So we got a 1, which gives us a whole total of 2. So no, we weren't able, maybe the building is soundproof. So sounds outside can't get inside. Okay. So the building's soundproof. They can't hear us. But we can see the dwarf inside. I mean, it's a school of wizardry, you know, they probably have, you know, fireballs and magic missiles and things going off all the time. They have to have the building soundproofed, so they can't hear anything outside. All right, so, okay, the next idea I have is what I'm thinking, like, do we ask the eagle, who is the biggest of us, do we ask the eagle to maybe break the window? Do we have stats for an eagle? That's a good question. Let's see. Because that was a friendly. Okay. All right. So, yeah, let's. Because we need to get in there somehow. And we got to figure out how to get in there. What are, I mean, that's the most direct route, right? So we're going to ask the eagle. No, the eagle doesn't have a name. Would you like to give the eagle a name? I'm going to ask the eagle to break the glass. Although if he, because like a bird flying into a window. But then again, it is the school of wizardry, so they probably have like shatterproof windows. So that's probably not going to work. California. Okay. The eagle's name is California to break the window. And I think our professor left. Looks like it's just you and me. A chimney. Ooh, okay. Let's do. All right. So we're going to ask the eagle to try breaking the window. And the difficulty is going to be, okay, it's going to be a 12. We're going to roll a d8 and give the eagle +2 to strength. So 8, 9, 10, it's not going to happen. 9. So he doesn't break the window. The windows are shatterproof. I'm making this difficult. The windows are shatterproof. Of course. I mean, don't want to be spraying glass all over the place. Okay. So, yeah, let's look for a chimney. Is there a chimney? No. The oracle says there's no chimney. I'm sorry. There's no, maybe is there a chimney elsewhere on the building? Yes. Okay. So there's no fireplace in this room, but there's a chimney elsewhere. Well, I mean, it's a school of wizardry. What do the wizards do? They blow things up, they set things on fire, they make sonic booms. They don't want to be shattering glass everywhere. Okay, so there's a chimney elsewhere. Not in this room, but elsewhere. All right. So I'm going to do a fly check to see if I can fly down the chimney. A king! Unless I get a queen, I cannot succeed. No. Okay. So, I'll succeed, but I'll take a damage. And we'll do a 1d4. I get 4 damage again. Okay. I really should probably not use the 1d4 for damage. Maybe do a 1d6 divided by 2. Anyway, okay. So I fly into nearby chimney. And take damage. So 4 points of damage out of 6. Okay. We did heal up earlier, so we're at full health. We're at 4 damage. Alright, so I'm inside the building. Now I need to do a navigate to see if I can find my way up to the tower from wherever I ended up at inside the building. So navigate, we have a 7, and I have a +2 to navigate. Yes, so a 5 or better. We got a king. We succeeded. All right, so I find my way finally inside the building back to the tower. Okay. this begs the question, you know, it's been a while since we've done something from the book, so let's see if something happened along the way. The ace. Ah! Okay. I'm disregarding that one. I'm going with the next one. Because I got the meet a potential mate again. But I'm going the one right below it. You find a tasty morsel. You save it for the next time you become hungry, or eat it now and heal one injury. Perfect! We just took 4 injury, so now we're going to heal one of those up because we found a nice tasty treat along the way. Maybe, you know, some Buddy's leftover dinner. All right. And the question is, in all this time that we've been trying, has the necromancer returned? Odds are yes, evens are no. Yes, the necromancer has returned. Oh no. Okay. So the door is open. We find our way to the tower. The door is open, and inside there is our necromancer. Do we try to attack him or befriend him? I mean, we can't successfully get rid of him, but we can... He does have stats, I believe. Maybe. Okay. So we can either run into a couple, maybe he has a couple zombies up there as like sentries, or we can just say he's a confused sorcerer for the moment if we want to combat. So let me know, should we do zombie or confused sorcerer? Or both options? What? Try and befriend him, and if that doesn't work, then attack him? Because I could go with that idea. Alright, so the necromancer has returned. Roll for it. Alright. So... Or we could draw a card, because... Let's draw a card, because on our characters table, zombies are red cards, and the sorcerer is a black card. Red card. Alright, so we're going to face a couple zombies. Because I have not worked out combat in this game yet. We've kind of evaded all of our combat. So let's try and figure this out. Has zombie sentries. There's 2. Okay, so zombie sentries have a +2. Well, let me see what the stats for their attack and evade. Okay. Then the next score is their injury slots. Okay, so they have 2 health. And they inflict 1 damage on a successful attack. Okay, so there's 2 zombies. Zombie 1 and zombie 2. All right. So let's take a look here. In combat. So let's see. Just going over this. Okay. In combat, you always act first. So we get to act first. So we can choose whether to attack with dive bomb, claw, or beak attack. So we have a benefit. So the rogue's toolkit gives us authority on claw attacks. Okay. Or we can peck. Or, okay. So let's try to do an a claw attack because we have advantage. I'm just going to try and keep that where I can still see it. And then I can see our stats and their stats. All right, there we go. So our first attack, we need to jack. Okay, and they have a +2, so that means a 13 to hit them. Oof. All right, but we can do this with advantage. We don't have any added skills. Wait. Draw a card and add your opponent's attack evade. Wait, no. Okay. Choose whether to attack. Draw a card and add the number of ticks from your chosen combat skill to this value. Oh, okay, so this is our attack. Okay. This is my first time doing combat, so bear with me. Okay, so we can do it with authority, so yeah, that's fine. So our attack is a 11. All right, and then we draw a card for your opponent, and this is their evade score. So our attack is an 11, and their evade is an 8. So if your attack score is higher or equal to that of your opponent, you inflict 1 injury. Yay! So, okay, so our attack was an 11. Their evade is an 8. So we damaged zombie 1 by 1. Because they only have 2 hit points. All right. Yay, us. All right, now our opponent gets to attack. So draw a card and add our opponent's attack score. So a 1. Alrighty. And they get a +2 to attack, so a 3. All right, so their attack score is a 3, and then we draw a card with our evade. And we have authority and evade, so we can draw 2 cards, take advantage. The higher is a jack, so we got an 11 + 1, 12. We evaded them, no damage taken. Going well so far, yes. All right. Next, we're going to attack them. So our attack is going to be a 4. Let's do a peck. Yeah. So we're going to do a peck. So that's going to be a 5. Because we have some ability. We have 1 tick in peck. Although, do we do a claw? Because we do have authority. So we could draw another card and see if we get better. Let's try a peck. We have 3 hit points left. No, we're going to go with our authority and... Okay. So we get a 9. Our attack is a 9, and their evade is also a 9 plus 2. Oh no! They evaded. Ugh. Now they get to attack us. All right, their attack is going to be a 5. And we evade with authority. We succeed with a 10, 11. Okay. Whew. All right, our attack. I'm going to decide what our attack is after I draw my card. Probably shouldn't do it that way. Or do we just keep going with authority? Let's keep going with authority, and we're going to do a claw attack. We got a queen. So we got 12. All right, our attack is 12, and they fail. All right. We took down zombie 1. Yay! Zombie 1 is down. I need water. All right. It's their turn. Their attack, wow, is a 4. And our evade with authority is a queen. We dodge out of the way. We're really quick and nimble. We can evade quite easily. We're small. They're slow. It's fine. Our attack is going to be, we're just going to do a peck. So 11. And their evade is going to be a 9, 10, 11. Okay. So what if we both got the same thing? I'm going to say... Did we read dead in it? No. We unanimated it. I'm gonna go with the Dungeons and Dragons house rule meets it beats it. So we both got an 11. I'm gonna say that hits. Oh. Their attack. Ooh, okay, a queen plus 2. So it's 12. 14. Okay, 14. And evade. We have to get a king. Oh, we didn't. Okay, so we take 1 damage. Oh. That. Okay, so we're up to 4 damage. Again. Alright, but we've only got 1 hit point left. We can do this. We got it. We got it. Okay, so next we hit. Ooh, that's not good. Let's do it with authority. A joker. We automatically succeed and take out that zombie. Alright. Does Tim flee? Yes. Tim flees. We actually don't know his name yet. It's okay. Tim flees. Because we defeated his zombie sentries. Alright, so he flees. Ah, no, this mad raven. And then we need to, let's do a use tool to try and get the ring, the signet ring off of our dwarf friend. A 7 is our goal, and we can use tool with authority because of the rogue's toolkit. So advantage 7 plus 1 or 10 plus 1, 11. We succeed in getting the ring. we get the ring off the dwarf. Okay? So here's the good question. Is the dwarf, put the book aside, is the dwarf conscious? No. Okay. So we can't talk to him. Okay. So we don't have the leaf with us anymore because we dropped that. Let me erase that. So let's see. Is there anything useful? Is there anything interesting in this room? No. Okay, never mind. I was like, maybe we could find something to pick up. Well, he's probably been sedated. Maybe he's under a spell of sleep by the necromancer, because the necromancer wants to sacrifice him. All right. And then do we get out the way we came in? Or do we go out a different way? That's a good question. Oracles. I didn't even ask a yes or no. Okay, so Oracle, do we go back out the way we came in? Yes. Okay. So now we know a way in and out. So we leave the way we came in. And I think that's going to be it for today. A skylight? I don't imagine a medieval school tower has a skylight, but we make our way through the halls. Unnoticed. We're like at the top level of the build, it's like dorms for the staff. And we make our way out through a chimney because it's summertime and they're not burning any fires. We did succeed our first combat, but we are quite injured, and we still have our army of birds waiting for us outside. We could do a really quick preen check to see if we can heal one. Oof. Not right now. So yeah, that's where we're gonna leave off for now. So now we have to take the ring back to Doug and come back and hopefully free our dwarf friend. But that's it. My voice is getting tired. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you want to leave any comments for, if you go to the video later, the VOD, you can leave comments. You can give me lists of NPC names since you don't have to be put on the spot, or lists of places, anything you want to see in the story. And if you're watching this later in the VOD, you can go ahead and leave me those comments down below. Names for NPCs, names for places. Yeah, I think those are the only things we really need names for. Names for NPCs and places. Those would be helpful. And that way I don't have to try and make them up on the fly. But we have our necromancer, we have the name of the school, and we have the name of our dwarf. We don't have names for all the birds, so maybe we'll have a little time to sit around and get to know all the birds. We do know the eagle, but we have 16 swallows and bloom. So we have 16 swallows. The blackened bun is the name. Okay, that's going to be the name of our bakery. The blackened bun. Because it's right by the blacksmith. All right. Well, thank you all. I will be back, hopefully, fingers crossed, next Wednesday, the same time, 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, to continue our saga and hopefully complete this quest. And then we can level up to become a juvenile. And search for our shard of Gull. But until then, take care of yourselves. have some fun, roll some dice, and I'll see you later.